All right, JHK here for Sports Kita, and joining me right now is UFC featherweight contender Josh Emmett. Josh, good to see your face, man. It's been, I think, around 9 months since we spoke. How's everything going?
Yeah, it's been a while. Things are going good. I think we last time we talked, I was out in Vegas after 3 months after my surgery.
Yeah,
So I'm doing much better now, and yeah, it's good to talk to you again.
for sure, man. And like you said, 3 months. So if you add that together, I'm a mathematician. It's been a year since you last fought. So
Yeah,
how's everything progressing, man? The comeback, the recovery.
yeah, it's going well now. Maybe like a few months ago, I started seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Just because I had so many issues. I don't even remember our last conversation, but um, 3 months post-op, even like right after the surgery, I was doing really well. I was above average. I was like killing the PT. I was doing things that they're like, man, people don't start doing this till, you know, 4, 6, 8 weeks out. And I was doing it like a few weeks out. So I thought I was going to come back super fast. And my goal was to fight in less than a year from surgery. But man, after I talked to you, I saw the doctor at like 4 month marker just because I was having tons of pain still, and we did another MRI, and that's when I still had a torn patella tendon, and where they took the graft off my patella was just a big hole, so a broken kneecap. So he's like, no wonder why you're having so much pain, and I just had to go a different route, kind of taper things down a little bit, and one of my friends and doctors here in Sacramento, he's a orthopedic surgeon. Man, he does most of his research, or he does a lot, but he's really well known for stem cells. So that's when we kind of went that route, and that was another experience and a painful thing that I had to go through. And but things are coming together.
Did you get the stem cells in California, or did you have to fly to Guatemala or some other country?
Yeah. No, so I did the stem cells when they did the ACL surgery. They injected some of the stem cells there because it's not embryonic. So they did a portion of stem cells in the surgery, and then I want to say it must have been November. I did the stem cells here in Sacramento. So what he did is he drills into your back, into your SI joints, and they extract the bone marrow from your bone, and then he spins it kind of like they do PRP, and then he injects that right into. He went straight through my kneecap, right through the patella, and then right in the patella tendon as well. And that was a painful thing, and it was kind of weird because I was kind of like half awake, so I wasn't sedated all the way. They call it a twilight, so they kind of just keep your levels kind of so I don't know, it somewhat masks the pain, but they were talking to me, and then after they drilled into my back, they told me to turn over, and I turned over on my own. It's kind of like you're in and out. It's real strange. Like I've never experienced that before. And then I had to be, I was no weight bearing for another week. I was in a full leg brace again for, I want to say, like 3 weeks. And then I had to kind of start over again. So I feel like I'm like 5, 6 months behind just because all the complications I had. Then I have a lot of patellar compression. Um, so I did another like hyaluronic acid injection where they stuck this huge needle right behind my patella, my kneecap, and kind of shot it up with some gel. A lot of older people that are like, 70, 80, 90 with osteoarthritis in their knee, they get this. So I did that just because my patella is just bone on bone doing this. So hopefully it'll glide a little better. And I did that about, I don't know, 7, 8 weeks ago. So um, yeah, things are coming along. It's slower than I would have liked, but at least, like I was just talking to someone today, and I was like, even if I have pain and I'm not really affecting or making the ACL worse, or even, like the tendon or patella, and I can do a lot more, I'm happy with that. So no complaints there, and I'm going to keep on moving forward, and hopefully I'll get a fight this year. It's like that's my goal. I felt like I wanted to fight in June, but then as I was getting closer to that, I knew realistically, I was like, that can't happen just because I couldn't do anything. So, my goal is still to fight in 2021, but it's still a little too soon to know or tell.
Of course you want to fight, man. But what are the
Yeah,
doctors telling you?
yeah, that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
it's and a lot of them don't even know. Like with some of the stuff that I had happen to my knee, they're like, with my luck, I'm one of the rare ones. They're like, man, I haven't seen this before, and I've got a bunch of different looks and things like that. So it's unfortunate, that's especially when that's not my expertise, and I'm just like, man, this hurts like hell. And then they're like, oh, no wonder why it hurts so bad, because they see the images, and then they're like, I'm asking them like, what do I need to do, or what's this from, and they're telling me they don't know. I'm like, how do I get it? How do I get like an answer or something? But I've kind of narrowed things down, and I have a plan with all my friend, my chiropractor, and Dr. Chu. I have my physical therapist now, Russ. I have all my coaches, my strength coach, and my dietitian and nutritionist. Like they're helping me out with diet and other supplementation. So it's just like we're working cohesively, and we are making progress. So I'm super happy about that now.
I feel like I'm talking to a doctor right now. Like you know so much about that procedure and how to recover. Like I'm pretty sure it could benefit even guys, your teammates, if they have problems. Like you could go in there and like tell them like, okay, what do you feel? You could kind of be a
Yeah.
doctor for them.
Man, no, and that's one of the things. Like people that have had just ACL surgery, I'll always ask them certain questions like, "How are you feeling in this situation?" Or just trying to get stories from it. And then people that, yeah, we actually do have some teammates that have some messed up knees and ACL right now. So I'm telling them like which graft to do. I'm telling them, just from my experience, it kind of sucks. Like a lot of times, I feel like something bad will happen to me, but then it's like I'll get better, and then I can kind of, from my experience and my knowledge, and I become obsessed with whatever I have going on. So it's like my knee. I've watched so many damn ACL surgeries. I've read all these blogs and just different things. I try to get as much information as I can, just so I can heal and get better. And so yeah, I try to give my 2 cents. But yeah, I'm not a doctor, but I feel like I know a lot about a lot of the injuries that I've sustained or suffered. I feel like maybe after fighting I'll go that route.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah, man.
no,
You
there's
never
no
know,
way.
man. Second
No, I
career.
hate school. I
Now,
hate
yeah,
school.
I
I'll
hate
go back
school
to
too,
college.
man. But, and you mentioned, you saw the light at the end of the tunnel. Before that, were
Mhm.
you down? Were you like thinking like, man, this is just not working out. This is something that I really need to consider, maybe like not even thinking about fighting anymore and just focus on just getting healthy.
Yeah, it's so hard for me because that is like I feel like I'm a realist. So it's like I've had some other issues when I was having all the like the facial fractures. That didn't really bother me because bone will heal, but it's the vertigo. That was something else. When you wake up and you feel that way, and then my knee, I can deal with pain. You know what I mean? Like I can really deal with pain. It doesn't really bother me, but when it's affecting me where I just can't move or do like things. Like if I was just working a desk job, like I can live a regular life. I can walk. I have no pain, and I can sit there. But I can't do really anything that I enjoy to do, or athletic, or things like that. So I felt kind of, yeah, maybe just a dark place, I guess you could say, because then when you're not getting better, and I'm getting worse when I'm supposed to be, getting better, and I'm literally getting worse and can't do things I could do a month, 2, 3, 4 months ago. Um, yeah, I start thinking these things like, man, am I ever going to be able to fight? Am I going to be able to do this? So yeah, I do go there, but then I just know deep down, like even when I was having all those just other injuries too. I'm like, with time it'll get better, man. Like I feel like I'm like destined to do something. So I'm like, I know at the end of the day, I'm like, it'll pass. And a lot of times I feel when I have injuries, doctors tell me, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, you'll be hitting as hard as you can. But with me, for whatever reason, it seems to take a lot longer. I'll be in a lot of pain. Um, but then, come a year and a half later, I never have another issue with the injury. I feel like I don't know what it is. It takes me longer to heal, but then I never re-injure things. So I'm just kind of looking at my knee that way, and this is a big thing, man. Like I've had so many injuries, but I have to say, with all the complications and like the patellar tendon graft, um, man, this has to be the top of the list for me
That's good to
as
hear then.
far.
You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
once you get injured, you never re-injure that same area. So that's good.
yeah.
Your
And I've
body.
had every damn, from extremity, my elbows, shoulders, hands, face, knees, it's like, so that's a good thing. So maybe something was going on with this, and I just need to get like a super strong knee so I don't, re-injure, or have a knee injury when I need it the most in a big fight. So
Yeah, you
that's
definitely
just kind of
go.
looking forward and, trying to be optimistic, but you definitely go and, or I did, and like just kind of dark thoughts, and just you always have that doubt, and then with me getting a little older, I kind of, it's weird though, because I'm getting older, like my age, but I feel the best I ever have, besides just this knee thing, is like literally holding me back from the a few days after my fight with Burgos in June of 2020. I felt great, but then I just couldn't walk because my knee was screwed up.
Every time a major featherweight fight goes down and it's done and over with, social media is talking about you fighting
Fighting
either
them.
the
Yeah,
loser or the winner, right? And
I
it
know.
must make you feel good because in this sport, people forget fighters real quick, but they keep bringing up your name. Do you see that going on?
No, I see that a handful of times. It's funny because I always tell my coach, it's like, just like you said, there's a featherweight fight, and then I'm like, watch, the winner of this has to fight me, even if they're not even in the top 20 or something. They're like, he should fight Josh. I'm like, come on, man, like, but yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe people just want to see entertaining, exciting fights, and I've never been in a boring fight, even from my first amateur fight. And on the regional scene, I will never be in a boring fight. So maybe people just want to, I don't know, see some excitement.
Yeah, they do, man. They do, and I'm happy that they keep bringing your name up because it continues to kind of keep your name in the mix rather than just like other fighters, they forget about them even though they are exciting fighters, but they just don't fight for so long and they're just like nobody really, it sucks to say, cares about them anymore, but
Yeah,
they keep bringing
but
you
that's
up.
just
That's
how it
good.
is.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
how it
that's
is.
how it
That's the
is.
sport.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned we've talked about this in the past, is the vertigo and taking damage, brain health and stuff like that. And Calvin Kattar, he usually took a lot of damage against Max Holloway, and he's come out and said he's going to take the long road back to the
Oh
cage.
no.
How important is that for a fighter like that too, to take brain health so seriously and not rush back into a fight?
Yeah, I think it's like number one. I think it's super important. And I didn't hear that he said that, but I think it's great. I think he should. I think us being in a contact or combat sport, that like it's hard in the moment because it's like we all have goals. We're all trying to be the best. We're trying to chase the dream of ours, and financially, money's a big like factor, and so it's hard in the moment, but you have to think about after your career. You have to think about like the longevity of your life with your family and things like that. And even me going through vertigo and all those post concussion symptoms that I experienced, that was probably one of the worst things like I ever dealt with. Waking up, like especially when I would sleep, when I'd wake up in the morning or just laying there when the room's spinning and the ground's moving and you're just sick, you feel like throwing up, and I was experiencing this every single day, all day for months. So I thought then like shit, I'm never going to be able to fight. I can't even, like, I couldn't run, I couldn't do anything active because even just like the pounding of the pavement, running or even trying to bounce around, I'd be sick. So yeah, it's super important, and that's why even just diet plays a huge role in this too. Staying hydrated, having, just eating healthy food, because there's so many like nutrients, polyphenols or whatever it may be. Fish oils just for brain health, and getting proper amount of sleep. just a lot of things going into play. But yeah, it's super important. And even when I was dealing with the vertigo, I was like, man, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, just because it's such a shitty it's such a shitty thing. And I talked to some people that they weren't even athletes, but they're just individuals, and they're like, man, I've had vertigo for 10 years. I'm like, man, I feel so bad for them. And just out of nowhere, just like the crystals, or for whatever reason, people just deal with that too. And I'm like, I was just fortunate and lucky enough that the symptoms kind of subsided, and yeah, kind of went away. But you have to, like, I know exactly how people feel. It's like if I'm talking to someone that has had it, like, I'm like, I know how you feel, like, even just like the fogginess, all the type of stuff. But it's like, if someone hasn't had it, they really don't understand. It's a miserable thing though.
Shane Burgos, your last opponent, he had an unusual fight. Did you see that one
Yeah,
against Edson
yeah, I saw that.
Barboza, where his body shut down, or his brain shut down and his body wanted to
Yeah,
keep going? It was kind of scary. Did you watch it live?
yeah, yeah. No, I definitely saw it. Yeah, it was a competitive fight. Burgos. I feel like Barboza, had the first round, and then Burgos did well in the second. Then I thought it was just kind of whoever won the third. And then yeah, it was odd. He got hit, and it was such a delayed reaction. I thought for a second, I thought he was just kind of like taunting him, like messing with him, doing that, like, and then he actually fell, and I was like, oh man, what happened? And he's a good dude, man. So everyone I fought has, everyone's pretty good dude, and like I wish them the best and things like that, man. Everyone's got families and things like that. It's scary though, because it's like we have one brain, we got one life, and it's like if we're putting everything we have into this kind of fight game, and then um, something unfortunate or something really wrong with your brain goes bad or goes wrong, it's like there's not a whole lot you can do. And you see that several times in boxing and things like that. And yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's scary, man.
It is. It is scary, but
Yeah,
I think, people like you coming out and being open about it and saying, like, you do need to take some time. I think it kind of resonates fighter to fighter more than anybody else.
yeah. Even like a lot of things I've done, like I'm a part of I don't know if you've ever float like deprivation tanks and stuff like that. So there's Capital Floats. There's one downtown Sacramento, one up in Auburn Cap Floats, and that's great too. For it's you get all the it's like 1,000 pounds of sea salt and stuff like that. So you're buoyant, you're just floating. That's really good for your brain as well. Just there's no light, no sound, no sense of feel either. And then even like hyperbaric chambers can help with some of the post concussion symptoms. So if anyone's like suffered anything like that, I think they need to, you know, hop into those and maybe see like I saw a vestibular therapist that just helped with all like the inner ear stuff and balance, um, and then even I saw like a cranial sacral therapist. I was just fortunate and lucky that I know a lot of people that I have connections with that are doctors and therapists that but even at that time when I was dealing with all that, I was like, man, there's a lot of fighters or just people in general that don't have the connections I have. And if I didn't know them, I would have just been in like a shitty situation, just not knowing what to do. But I had some friends that are doctors, like, hey, man, let me help you out. Let me link you up with this person. And then it just kind of trickled down from there. And then, I was, again, fortunate in that sense.
When we turn the tables to the featherweight division now, like, there hasn't been much movement since you last
Mhm.
fought, to be honest with you. There's been fights, but not really in the rankings, not much like new names coming up. And when you look at it, it's because like a lot of the guys are not really fighting each other. You had the zombie fight Ige, and that kind of just put him in the position that he was already in, right? Defeating
Yeah,
Ige. And then
yeah.
Yair's up there, but he hasn't fought in 2 years. Max is, number one in the
Mhm.
rankings. You got two teammates on the Ultimate Fighter right now this season. There's a beef brewing between Volkanovski and Ortega. Have you seen that? And is it odd to you?
No, and that's the thing. I saw, there's Vince Murdoch and Ricky Truccio. So it's like, I know they're on there. I want to watch it, but it's like, I only saw the first episode, because when it came out, I watched it. And then I haven't got caught up on it. Yeah, just because kind of odd timing and it's on ESPN Plus or whatnot. But one of these days I'm gonna sit down and I'll get caught up. I know Ricky's fighting tonight just because everyone posting about it. But yeah, like other like you said, there hasn't been a lot of fights in there's been a lot of fights, but nothing that's going to kind of mix it up, And just like you said, if Ige would have beat Zombie, then it would have kind of shifted the rankings. But it's like the number 4 guy won, he just kind of stays where he's at, and I don't even think people when they lose to someone ranked that high, like Ige should just stay where he's at. I don't even think they should move him out of the rankings. Like even when Burgos and I fought, and he was behind me, and then lost, and then they tried to move him out of the rankings, like out of the top 15. I was like, that doesn't make sense, It's yeah.
Yeah, the rankings is a confusing
Yes.
thing.
It's all
Now
manipulated.
yeah.
Who they want to fight.
I know the Zombie was out at Alpha Male many years ago. Were you there at the same time?
I was there, yeah. Yeah,
And
I've been with the team for a long time, so I remember when he came out and trained. I want to say that must have been back in, man, 2000. Was it 2010 or maybe even
WEC
longer?
days, right?
Yeah, maybe even longer actually. Yeah, so it might have been back in like 2008 or something like that, 2006. I don't even know. But yeah, no, I remember him coming out. Super nice dude. Like, you know, um,
Did you do a lot of
yeah.
training with him particularly, or was he just separate?
Not really. I think we might have drilled, once or twice or something like that. But he was going with Uriah a lot and some of the other guys. But I do remember him coming out.
Did you expect him to be like where he is at right now when you trained with him or saw him in the gym back then?
Yeah, he was yeah, because he was in the WEC like you said, and then he fought. He beat Mark Hominick. He was on a tear, wasn't he? He fought for the title, right? Did he
Yeah,
fight Aldo or?
Joseph, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So all these guys, like I've been with that team for so long that I saw all these big name guys like come in, like even before they were, ranked in the top 10, before they were number 1 contenders, champions. Like I've seen not even just people from our team, just people, passing through, whether there was a fight nearby or they're just coming to train. Like I've seen everyone kind of come through the gym, and I just knew all along kind of where I stacked up. It was just like a matter of time. I said I just need my opportunity, and then, so yeah, I've seen so many, yeah, just really good fighters come through that gym, whether they're on our team or just from, different teams
There's a
throughout the
lot
year.
of Asian fighters now at Alpha
Yeah.
Male. A lot of Chinese fighters. I think just recently, 2 Korean fighters arrived at Team Alpha Male to train there for the next I don't know, month or 2 months or something like that. What?
Is it from
Why
like
is
the Korean top team or?
No? They're
I
from
don't.
one championship. They're 2 of the one
Oh, okay.
championship fighters. They're one of them
Okay.
is a lightweight and the other one is a featherweight. They just
Okay.
arrived there. But what is it like? It seems like Alpha Male's bringing in, or everybody's congregating
Yeah.
more there than in past years.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I think just because, say, some of the Asian fighters, possibly because we have Song Yadong, we have some of the other guys, and then so they've been coming over. A lot of the Brazilian fighters too, because we have a lot of Brazilian fighters. Then we have Fabio Prado and stuff, who's like really well connected in Brazil, and so people get in contact with him, and he brings them over, and then. I don't know, our team and Uriah, they've always just been super open, like just really welcome anyone, and whoever wants to come train, whether it's a week, whether it's a month, whether they make the move for good, everyone just kind of, there's really no egos and just like, hey, come train, get better. It's just kind of a co-op. Everyone kind of helps each other out. And then there's so many good fighters that specialize in different areas of MMA, and so many good coaches, and we just have connections to everything. So it's like you can just ask for help, and then or you can just start going up to the coaches, start going up to the teammates. Uriah's always been like a big advocate for that. Like if whether we're having practices, he's like, if you're a striker, get into wrestling and jujitsu, you know what I mean? And then these are the guys you need to go see and do. Like ask them after practice, before practice. Everyone just kind of helps himself. So I think people come out, they see kind of the dynamic and see how the team works, and they like the facility and the structure, and then they just kind of they stay a little longer, or they make the move out here. It's just I haven't really got to go cross train at a ton of different gyms. And but everyone that's came out here, they're always like, man, you guys have, I guess we're super structured and just have kind of, it's like a one-stop shop. So that's just what everyone says that comes out here.
No doubt, man. It's one of the best teams in the world. You've been part of it for a long time, and I'm pretty sure you're hungry. You're starving to get back in there with all those
Yeah,
bodies
man.
and stuff, man, and make your run for the title. Josh, good luck to you, man, on the rest of the recovery, and I hope to see you back by the end of the year, man. I want to speak with you next time, and you're getting ready for
Yeah, and I'll be
a
announcing a
fight.
fight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
I
right.
like
Thank
it.
you,
Yeah, me
Josh,
too,
man.
man.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for having me on anytime, man.